All right, and I believe we are live.
Hello,
Good afternoon,
hello.
everybody. This is Justin here with HRVA Homes and Tom the Chef. And our latest installment, I have no idea what number we're on.
I think we're on 10.
10?
Wow.
700?
Crazy.
Who knows? I mean, we're just going to keep
Time
going.
is flying.
Yeah. So, Aaron, our faithful leader, is out today helping clients show houses and
That's
try
a
to
good
get
thing.
people in the home. So, I am, again, your guest host today. So,
We're either live or we're talking to each other. One or the
no,
other.
we're live because Aaron just commented woohoo, so it means I got it. So,
Aaron's stamp of approval.
yep. Oh, I gotta find it. This one? There we go. All right. I got a sound effect in. Aaron's gonna be happy now. As long as I get the outro right, we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and begin.
Let's get jumping and going here. So I prepped a lot, right? That's the important part of cooking. Is try to get it prepped up. I also like to take the approach sometimes as if I'm having a what do you call it? Like hosting a dinner party with some folks, and you got everything ready to go. This way, it makes it a little bit easier. You can get dressed up like I am. You can socialize, enjoy a glass of wine. You're not going absolute bonkers trying to get everything ready. So the more you can get together, the better. So we'll get started. And I already cooked the pasta ahead of time, like 98% of the way. It's ready to go, cooled off, and just sitting there ready for me to warm it back up. And again, that's a great tip if you're trying to save some time or you want to get it done early because you got some chores to get done in the afternoon and then you just want to cook dinner later on, or if you have some leftover pasta, you can keep it there, and we're going to show you how to warm it up quick and easy and put it into the sauce. The one thing I did do is save the pasta water, right? So this is that starchy, salty, yummy pasta water because it's got a ton of flavor in there. It's got starch in there. If we need it to put into the dish later on, it's going to help out, right? So don't get rid of that pasta water. That's got some really good stuff. And that's why you salt it ahead of time, and that's why you got those starches. It helps bring those sauces together a little bit too. So let's get started. We've got, we're going to start with making, actually, let's do the bread first. I can get that going in the oven. So I've got just a good old loaf of Italian bread or any kind of bread you like. If you have some sliced white bread or wheat bread left over, feel free to use that. Whatever your choice is. You got some leftover bagels that you made from watching one of our episodes?
Oh.
Feel free to use those. So we're just going to cut this down the middle. Oven's on 400 degrees. So I'm going to get this in while I start the other stuff. I have some butter. I always recommend taking it out, a good half, especially in these temperatures, a half hour or so before. Let it get nice and soft, easy to use, easy to spread. Save yourself some of the headache. I mean, there really is no rules with the butter, right? I mean, everybody loves butter, so have at it. As much as you like. I'll probably use most of the stick. I'm just going to put a nice, generous lathering of butter on here. If you want to make this even easier for you and say you want to make a bunch ahead of time, take some softened butter, mix all your ingredients that you like to put in it, and just keep it in the fridge. And when you're ready, pull it out, use it, put it back, that kind of stuff. This way it's all ready to go 100%. Makes it nice and easy. You can have it multiple times.
Speaking of early, the question was asked, how do you keep the pasta from getting sticky if you do it early?
Great question. So two things. One, I actually cooled it off with water a little bit, and then I put it on a larger pan, like say a cookie sheet or something like that. This way it has space, and just put a tiny little bit of oil, mix it in there, just a small amount to keep that from sticking together, and that'll really do it for you. But I like to spread it out. This way it can cool off, and you want to slow down that cooking, right? You don't want to keep cooking because it will. Just like when we do our meats and we carry over cooking, everything will carry over. It's got all that heat in there. All right, so we're lathered up pretty good here. Now we've got options at this point. I'll do it the way I normally make it. I would just use my 4 seasonings, garlic powder. I'd like to be a little bit more liberal with the garlic powder. It is garlic bread. Charlie's drinking like a faucet over here. It's a hot day, dog's day of summer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Black pepper.
Yeah, Boo Boo does it all the time too. It drives me nuts.
Oh, now he's here trying to get a sample.
There you go.
Onion powder. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, but you got to be careful again, depending on how you buy your butter, right? I buy salted butter. I know a lot of people or chefs will say, oh my God, salted butter, don't do it. I like it because I can gauge the amount of salt. Really, the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you don't over salt anything if you're using salted butter, because it's got salt in it. The reason I like salted butter is because if we do toast in the morning or something like that, I want it to have some good flavor, right? Instead of having unsalted butter. So I'm going to set this butter to the side for now. I mean, that's really all you got to do right there. I put a little bit of cheese on there. Again, these are all personal preferences. If you don't want something, keep it out. If you want to put more, put it on. You want to make it a little spicy, put some cayenne in there. If I happen to have a bunch of fresh parsley here, so I'm going to put some of that on. Usually I just put some dry parsley on just so it looks nice and pretty. And it also puts a little bit of that herby flavor in there. And again, you can make all this ahead of time. It's called a compound butter. So you take your butter, you mix all your ingredients into it. Keeps it nice and yummy. And then also, let's say you happen to have some extra chopped garlic, feel free to put that on there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to make it a little tasty, which we all like. You don't have to. I generally don't chop up garlic unless I have it already done. If I'm making garlic bread, I'll just quickly put on the garlic powder and go from there. It turns out fantastic every time. But we've got it. Let's use it. All right, so we're going to put this in. If you're not as adventurous as me, put it on a cookie tray. Me, I just like to put it on the oven. I call them pot handle hands sometimes. They get a little warm, but it's all right.
How many minutes?
So we're going to put that in there. Watch it at 400. Let's set a timer. Okay, Google, set a timer 6 minutes.
Okay, 6 minutes.
Thank you. So nice, Google.
Everyone Google.
So I'll do 6 minutes, I'll watch it, and then if I want, if it gets nice and toasty a little bit, then I sometimes put the broiler on so I get that nice colorful brownness on top too. So we've got our pan warming up here, which is good.
A medium?
This is, well, it's not just medium now because we're talking, but I'm going to turn it on high once we get going. So the bread's going, we're going to start with our shrimp. Let's get this pan cranking a little bit. I'm going to go to high, just under high, because we want to get a nice sear. This is where your flavor comes from. Searing everything off, right? So we've got shrimp. Now, again, this is about a pound, depending on the size of the shrimp you go with. We're going to make about 2 portions here. If you want to, again, you want to make one, cut it all back, you can have this all ready to go and just use what you need for one. If you want to make more, do 2 pans. You know, you just don't want to overcrowd the pan, so that's what I'm going to be careful of doing here. So I've got my shrimp. I've got about a teaspoon. This is called Fra Diablo for a reason.
Ooh.
It's spicy, right? It's called Father Devil, Devil the Father, or something like that. That's what it translates to. So don't be afraid of those pepper flakes. This is a spicy dish. If you want to change it, but I'm going spicy. All right, so we're going to do the red pepper. Then we're going to go a little bit of the seasoning. Just a couple sprinkles based on the amount of shrimp you got in there. Onion powder, garlic powder.
Erin says she's going to swing by for a pickup after her show, or in between her showings.
That's not a bad idea. Stop on by.
Will there be any left?
I don't know if there's any left, but you can stop by.
Probably not.
We got the kids to this.
Yeah.
A little bit of salt in there. And we just put that there. Grab a spoon. Just to toss it all around. I'm going to get some oil going in the pan. I can feel it's getting really hot. You can see it's smoking. Doesn't have to get that hot, but mine is. That was about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there.
Any oil?
Any oil will do. Olive oil is always the best, especially when you're cooking Italian dishes. But
Absolutely.
I always use olive oil anyway for every cooking I do. So what this is going to do, this is going to allow some, and why you put the pepper in now, the red pepper flakes, is it's going to allow that heat to come out, the oils and stuff to get transferred into the oil. So when we cook the rest of this, it's going to be good. So looking for a nice sear. Again, when you're hot and you're getting a sear, that's where a lot of that flavor is coming from, in the bottom of the pan.
This is the part when I'm cooking that Erin hates because I just get grease and oil everywhere.
Yeah, this is challenging. Oh, that's actually a good point you brought that up. So what I did beforehand and what to help eliminate that is to dry it off as much as possible. Right? Any oil and water, we all know, don't mix.
Right.
So if you can dry off the shrimp or anything you're making ahead of time, it'll eliminate a lot of that splashing up. And again, you can do this with chicken, you can do it with anything you like. We're gonna go ahead and get an onion ready to go. So this is just a half onion, slice as thin as you can. That shrimp's gonna take probably 3 minutes total, maybe 4.
Yeah, shrimp does not take long on the in a pan. It takes longer to steam it than it does to sear it that way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you want to get everything prepped up ahead of time, because it goes so fast once you get going.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me grab a dish, because we're going to take these shrimp out, and then we're going to cook the rest of the stuff. Let's go ahead and turn them. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful color. That's fantastic.
I had to do it for Aaron.
That is awesome. I'm just expecting like DJ Khaled to come out somewhere. DJ Khaled. All right, so that's cooking away. I'm gonna, well, let's wait a minute because the pasta is really almost ready to go. I just need to warm it up, so I'm gonna wait for that. Let's give these shrimp another minute to cook. Let's check the bread just to make sure. All right, we didn't burn anything yet. That's good. I'm gonna take a drink of coffee. Cheers.
Yeah, when you put the broiler on for that bread, if you decided to go that route, do you move it up to that top rack?
I won't move it though, because that broiler gets hot, more than enough hot, to, no matter where you are in there. So.
Right.
Another important part, right? Go overcook the shrimp. That's it.
Yep.
3 minutes, what was that? Maybe 4 minutes probably. They're going to cook a little bit more in this bowl while they're sitting here, and then we're going to put them back in the dish, so they're going to cook a little bit more again.
Mm-hmm.
So set those aside. We're going to get our onions in this same pan with oil. I'm going to put another probably tablespoon of olive oil in here in a minute. You should switch sides.
Oh, yeah.
Put another little tablespoon of olive oil in there. Turn this back up to high. So we're going to cook these onions probably about 4 to 5 minutes. Start to get a little translucent, get a little of that color in there, soften them up a bit.
And with them being in that same oil, you can still see the red pepper flakes. It's going to transfer some of that heat over to those onions as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. So we're trying to get all that seasoning to come through, right, the whole way through the cooking process. You're going to season in different levels. And we've got those hot pepper that's now working that magic love in there. Okay, Google, timer off. Yeah, I did say magic love of spices. All right, so so we're getting toasty on the bottom. We're melted. It's looking good. So I'm going to put it on the broiler just to get some color on there. Broiler high, but now you really got to watch because that thing will go fast.
How long?
Probably, I check it every 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Okay, Google, set a timer a minute. I do that so I don't forget myself.
Sure, 1 minute, starting now.
Thank you, Google. All right, so another tip that I'll show you while I'm waiting. So I chopped up our herbs ahead of time, right? We've got parsley and fresh basil. When you need to store them, just take your herbs after they're clean, a nice damp paper towel, and just wrap them up nice, put them in your vegetable drawer, and that'll help keep them fresh for longer.
That's a good tip. Because whenever I used to buy them things from the store, like parsley or cilantro or whatever, I never use it all because it comes in so much and I didn't need that much. But
Exactly.
now that we have our massive herb garden in the back, it's pretty quick.
Nice little dish, right? All right, so I'm just going to put this aside for a second. Give me a minute to think. You can see they're getting nice and toasty. Pull it off. Let the heat get down a little bit. Now we're going to add in our garlic. You guys have to, you have the recipe there on the Facebook page, but you can adjust, right? Recipe is just a guideline. Adjust how you want it. Oh, man, that garlic smells good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Timer off.
And the way I cook, I probably will triple any garlic in any
All right, you
recipe.
see we're perfectly toasty. I'm going to turn that off. Let me pull this bread out real quick. I don't recommend this if you're not comfortable.
That's hot. Oh, that's hot.
Man, that looks nice. All right, so we're gonna add our white wine. So what we're doing there, that white wine is obviously giving us flavor, but it's also getting all that fond off the bottom that will help create the sauce. I'm gonna put in some of our tomatoes with the juices. Right now I'm doing about 2 portions, so I'm gonna do about half a can. We're gonna let this just thicken up a little bit. Everybody comes together. Everybody's in the pool, making friends. Hello, how are you? I'm the onion. Hello, onion.
Any white wine?
Any white wine. If you're willing to drink it, you can use it. Right?
Nice.
So I would go.
Jessica Streeter asked, "Where are your mitts?"
What?
They're myths.
Oh, safety first.
And she also said that this looks so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be delicious. I can smell it. I'm sorry to rub it in, but I can smell it, and it smells fantastic. So we're gonna turn this down just a little bit. We don't need it too hot, but we're gonna let this reduce down just a tiny smidge. Let's get our pasta going.
That's not pasta. That's pasta.
So again, I'm not gonna use this all. I'm just gonna use, and you can see by doing the oil, right? It's all nice and easy to separate for the most part. What I like about this is you can just do portions instead of cooking a whole bunch, and maybe you want to cook for 2 today, and maybe somebody's coming late to the party, you can cook for them when they get there. So let's let that warm up. This is looking good here. We're gonna get our shrimp in here. So everybody start doing the dance.
I'm not sure if it's ever been asked. Why does your wooden spoon have a hole in the middle?
I think it's so that the sauce can go through while you're moving it around.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, I've got one with it and one without it.
Yeah, I have like 7 without.
I don't think you're missing anything, but I think it's just to help that sauce go through so you're not like a big orb moving around in there, you know. All right, so this, I'm going to just taste it real quick because we did season the shrimp up. That's good. You got to put some seasoning in there. So we're going to go back to our 4 seasonings, right? Because the tomato product is pretty bland to start with. So we want to season up everything. Even though we have garlic in here, we put the garlic powder. Even though we have onions, we put the onion powder. It's just a couple different layers. Oh, that heat just came through. That was nice.
Spicy?
Not spicy, but like a pleasant spicy. It's heat. It's a comfortable heat. And again, salt in the hand first. This way we don't over salt anything. You can see it's starting to thicken up, right? That's the, everything's reducing down a little bit. This pasta's ready. Now I'm just going to pull it out. Let's just do that. Again, if you're not comfortable doing this, you can just use a strainer, but right from the water into the dish. And again, you don't want to cook your pasta all the way. Al dente is always good. And part of the reason is you're going to continue to cook it in this sauce. All right, it's going to sit here for another half a minute or so, maybe a full minute. Mix everything together, get those starches in there, start to absorb all the liquids. If we wanted it more saucy, you can take some of that pasta water, but this is looking a pretty good consistency right now.
Yeah,
The thing I got?
Fra Diavolo is not a really thick sauce.
No, it's just, exactly. And most Italian dishes, you notice they don't have heavy sauces, especially if you have the luxury of being in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of this way, right? Just
Absolutely.
enough, and picking the right pasta to go with the dish. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna let that come up to temp. We're gonna put some of our fresh parsley in there. Fresh herbs are the best. If you don't have fresh, feel free to use the dried. Here's some basil. Okay. And we're getting close. It's almost time to eat.
That was fast.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes we've been doing this. Not even.
Where?
So that's it. And again, obviously we try to keep it to a reasonable time, but I'm trying to take the approach of getting it all done ahead of time. You want to cook when people are here. You want to cook this as close to serving time as possible, right?
Right.
So that's the idea. So you can, if you got people coming over, you want to make it maybe while they're all giggling around, eating whatever you made for hors d'oeuvres. done, folks.
Plate it.
Up. Remember, we use our eyes, right? So pasta is always nice to look. Take your tongs, make a little nest here. Something like that. Something like that. A little bit of shrimp. We got 3, 5, 6. I was always instructed in my culinary days of doing odd numbers when you're doing stuff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Is there a reason for that?
It's just more. I think there's a couple of reasons. One, on the money side of it in a restaurant, you can't evenly split odd, right? So maybe you have to order 2 things.
Right.
2 is it's just all more. It's more appealing for your eye to naturally go in like a circular pattern. If you have something even or square like, you're going to your eye is not going to just be as appealing to the dish. So it's psychological.
I feel that I do a lot of things in a circular pattern when I try to be fancy and actually not just throw things on a plate.
Yeah, I mean it's more appealing looking. It makes your eyes and your brain react a little bit differently. All right, so that's that. And bread's coming. We're just gonna make it look a little pretty. We got guests here. And then the bread, the piece de resistance, something like that.
Oh, listen to that crunch.
And serrated knives come in very, very handy with any bread, so I highly recommend one. All right, let's take 2 of these guys. And there you have it.
Oh my god.
Shrimp fra Diablo.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes, it
So
is.
that's that. I appreciate everybody watching.
That was 22 minutes. That's quick.
Yeah, Aaron commented, such an awesome dish in just 21 minutes. I mean, there's a little bit of prep work ahead of time, but still.
But in reality, you could probably get that done in 5 to 10 minutes. You know, once you build up your skills a little bit, chop up those herbs. It's not a lot. That's what's great about this dish. It's a simple dish to make once you have it all prepped up and ready to go.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'm going to try to get this outro done, and thank you again, Tom, and good luck in your showings today. Yep, till next week. And everybody remember, you need help buying, selling, or investing in real estate, the HRV Homes team is here for you. And we'll see you guys again next time.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.